Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Adrienne Lever, the Executive Director of NOC.
Running up on stage like that. It's very exciting. My name is Adrienne. For those of you I don't know, I am the new executive director of NOC, a new organization that I'm going to tell you a little bit about in just a minute. But I was specifically asked here today to talk to you about the Last Weekend Coalition that I spearheaded last year at Swing Left in partnership with 85 other progressive organizations. Many of you are in the room today. I like it because it's bright, so it really gets through. We organized together to recruit volunteers for the final 4 days of the election specifically, and we saw big results. So, Andrew, would you help play this video for me for a second? It's embedded, I think. So this tweet was, incidentally, the only time in my life that I've ever gone viral on social media, which is incredibly exciting, particularly because I have maybe 3 or 4 followers. But that's how exciting this election was, is when we posted this video, these are canvassers standing outside of a canvass location in Staten Island, waiting to go pick up packets and knock on doors. It was amazing. I think as much as I'd like to take credit for my virality, I think it's probably that people were excited that this much activism was happening around the election this cycle. And that translated into real numbers. We saw by the end of the campaign, as we were recruiting for Get Out the Vote, we had over 100,000 volunteers who were out across the country working, knocking on doors, talking to voters, and mobilizing to help win seats, not just in congressional races with Swing Left, but also up and down the ticket with organizations that were partnering with us, and that allowed us to put a real meaningful check on the Trump agenda. But I want to say also, thank you to all of the partners who are part of this. It was because of the work of this amazing coalition that we were able to do this. I strongly believe that working together is why we were able to accomplish what we did in 2018. But our work together is not done. It's very annoying that you can't see your slides. So, our work together is not done. It's even more critical now. As you all know, we face a very bizarre media environment that is dominated by Trump's tweets. It's also dominated by an incredibly competitive primary. We're going to have over 24 candidates who are going to be competing over potentially the next year and a half. We may even go to a brokered convention. And while that's great for democracy, it means that we're going to end up in a situation where, as you can see on this rough timeline, Trump has 48 months of campaigning, because let's be real, he's never stopped, right? He's been doing it since he got there. He goes to states all the time. He's tweeting. In the meantime, we're running and trying to figure out our candidate, but it leaves us behind, and we're already behind even if we start now. So, if we want to do more than just run primaries this year, we're going to need to work in unison to build infrastructure outside of the primaries and start talking to voters right now. But the most impactful ways to talk to voters also can be the most difficult. So if we look at that, I'm not going to go back, but if we look at that exciting canvassing video again, what you'll note is that that is a line of canvassers who are not out knocking on doors. They're waiting in line to pick up walk packets. This is the 21st century. I think we can do better. In addition, coordinated recruitment on the ground with progressive organizations can be difficult. Reasonably, organizations want to have control of their own lists, of their own volunteer events, and their own canvassing scripts. This can create inefficiencies, though, and anybody in the room, most of you who've been in organizing, will know that there are stories of canvassers walking past each other on the same street when they've just knocked on the same door. It's not the most effective way for us to run our campaigns. The good news is that there are new resources that didn't exist before to help us solve these problems. Mobilize America's technology makes it easier for us all to promote events with the same campaigns and activities, but not sharing data or giving up control over our individual events. The movement cooperative's data structure is also making it easier for the groups who are involved in that initiative to share voter data and information and learn from one another. And soon, my team at NOC will be launching an exciting new tool that will make it easier for us to empower volunteers across the country to knock on doors even without staff on the ground. Our tool was used by the Beto campaign in his Texas Senate race, and it's We came really close, and it was incremental in making sure that we could scale the volunteer program. I wasn't involved at the time, I was at Swing Left, but the distributed organizing features of the tool allowed for auto turf cutting, which allowed that campaign to scale and build a grassroots organization and a grassroots democratic campaign that Texas has never seen before. We like Beto. But as much as we like Beto, it's not about picking sides right now. That's why we're bringing these tools and data systems together as the foundation for a new coalition that will facilitate coordination around door knocking as we build towards 2020. With the last weekend, but actually I will say also that this is partially about building infrastructure so that we can all work together in a more effective way. But it's not just about the tools and the data, it's also about how much more powerful we can all be when we speak with a common voice. And that's what we saw with the last weekend initiative. We even went viral, and in the last few days of the election, we had a video from Justin Timberlake that none of us knew was even happening. That's how viral that campaign went. Can you guys hear me? I think I just lost sound. I can shout. Can you all hear me? Great. It's all about projecting and organizing. So we went viral. We had this Justin Timberlake video. Michael Moore went on MSNBC in the last few days and basically broke the internet when he started talking about the last weekend. We saw an incredible number of signups. And so it wasn't just about what we had built. It was about the cultural moment that we could make when we worked together and come under a common, powerful, coordinated brand. So with the chaos of the primary season, it's going to be even harder for us to break through this noise, the Trump tweets, the stories about the candidates. We're going to need to ensure that at certain moments, volunteers are getting one individual call to action that's coming from multiple organizations, those moments that are repeated by multiple sources, and they know it's what they need to do to get the job done. So I have been told that there may be some press here in the room, so I have to tell you that I cannot give you all of the details about this project. It's going to be a little bit of a teaser for now. But we're still working on the details. We have an incredible group of people who are pulling this together, and we're building a core steering committee. So I'm excited to share more of the details with you, but also if you are interested in door knocking, in technology, in taking back the White House, making sure that we come together for unity in 2020, please talk to me at this conference. This is truly a collaborative effort, and we look forward to bringing more organizations into the planning process so that we can be as effective as possible. So since I can't share more of the details, I will share a final thought with you, which is that, as it came up before, Trump absolutely can win. That should sit for a second. His approval ratings are about where Obama's were before his re-election campaign. That is incredibly scary to me. I think we need to remember that every single day, because sometimes in this bubble it's hard not to forget that there's all this amazing work going on, but that does not mean we're going to see victory. And we can come together to see victory. We can take back the White House. We can bring back decency to government. We can bring back sanity to our democratic institutions, but we need to work together to make that happen, and we need to be creative. So I look forward to working with all of you as we come up with a plan to do that. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Kelly Jones, activist.